Want to learn more about networking and how to network like a pro? Stay tuned. How do you do? I'm Stefan Burchard, the Desert Bowtie Realtor here in the Palm Springs region. I help my clients find, buy, and sell homes, and I absolutely love this business. Networking Nuggets is an exploration of business building through networking, social connections, and digital media. The purpose is to build trust, grow our business, increase referrals, and build testimonials. How do you do? It's me, Stefan Burchard, and back with my latest episode of Networking Nuggets. And today I have my friend and colleague, Elizabeth Najar with Trust Properties USA. Elizabeth is joining me from our BNI chapter. She joined our BNI chapter, and she and I have struck up a really fun colleague relationship. Elizabeth, would you like to introduce yourself and tell us a little bit about your business?
Absolutely. Thank you, Stefan. And yes, it's been wonderful getting to know you. You are a class act. I love just having made that connection with you. And my name is Elizabeth Najar. I'm a real estate broker here in the Coachella Valley. I've been selling real estate here for the past 17 years. And most recently, I've started specializing in probate and trust real estate with Trust Properties USA. And what we like to do is we like to help families going through probate or a recently inherited property in the family trust. We help them clean it up, repair it, and then ultimately renovate it so they can put it on the market and get the absolute top dollar for it. On average, we get our clients $50,000 to $100,000 additional equity at the time of sale, all at zero upfront cost.
And I've seen the pictures, folks. So she's the real deal. The neat thing about their company is they have the dollars behind them that they can actually do that without a bunch of liens and ugliness. So there's not a lot of realtors or brokers out there that are doing this kind of a niche. So if you have a trust property or a probate or anything like that nature and it needs some fluffing, Elizabeth is your professional. So anyway, Elizabeth, we're going to talk about networking today, so enough of the commercials.
To the fun stuff.
Yeah, exactly, the fun stuff. So I know you to be quite the networker. And that's one of the things I think that we just connect really well on, is that we're both very outgoing and we love being out there with people. So one of the things I like to talk about is uncommon avenues or places that people network. So I like people to think outside the box so that they can come up with their own stuff. So can you think of any venues or avenues of networking that people don't think of?
Well, I recently joined Toastmasters International, and I was actually introduced by another BNI member from a different chapter that I visited. And it's been amazing because, you're not there pitching yourself for a service. You're really building genuine relationships with other individuals, professionals who just want to perfect the art of speaking, especially if we're going into networking. We want to just feel comfortable and confident when we're, relaying our message and just building conversation and rapport, just being able to have that grammatical pose and just the finesse of speaking clearly and eloquently. It's such a refreshing feeling. And so Toastmasters International is my latest go-to networking, kind of in a roundabout way.
No, it actually, Ivan Meisner, the founder of BNI, many years ago, he wrote a book, or one of his many books. And I remember him talking about not only do you want to be part of a hard referral group, or leads group is what he called it back then, but then a soft referral group. Soft referral groups are like chambers of commerce, Kiwanis clubs, service organizations, Toastmasters. So those are the soft referral, because the focus isn't on referring business back and forth, but there is that aspect because, as you said, the important word, you're building relationships. That's what I say over and over and over again on this podcast is relationships, relationships, relationships are what it's all about.
Because ultimately, as you join and meet at these networking events, you develop bonds, friendships, common interests that you have, interests that you have in common. And so you naturally gravitate to one another and you learn about what it is that you do outside of the network. You love that person and working with them, and you feel comfortable sending them business if there's something that you can send their way.
Yeah, absolutely. Can you think of any materials or preparation that you perform or do before you go to a networking? Now, think back before COVID, but maybe we should include the Zoom aspect now, since we're probably going to be stuck with this for at least another year.
every group that I'm a member of right now has already announced that for the foreseeable future, everything will be virtual on Zoom. So, and there's no talk of getting together and having each other or having cocktails together anytime soon. So I think that's going to be just our future for now.
Can you think of any preparation or anything that you need to do to get ready for any of these networking events?
Not necessarily that I do, but I love reading. And because I love reading, I love learning. And when I learn, I love to share it with people. So I'm always looking to share what I learn. If it helps me, I think, well, maybe it could help somebody else too. So anything that I learn, I'm writing it down. Even watching a show, I'll read a quote and like, oh, that's a great one. I'll snap a picture and I'll share it the next time I have an opportunity to do so. I just love imparting knowledge to other people. Even if it only benefits one other person, then for me, that's rewarding. That's what I like.
That's so interesting, your timing, because my monologue today was about self-care.
Especially in this COVID, world that we're in, self-care is so important. It's like, how can we give to others if we ourselves, aren't feeling strong, resilient, our best? It's hard. It's draining. So we've got to take that moment to take care of ourselves first.
Absolutely. Thank you. Well, you kind of segued into this. My next question is about education or inspiration. How do we feed our mind? How do we feed ourselves?
I personally follow a lot of Tony Robbins, and I know a lot of people don't necessarily agree with all of his philosophies, and neither do I, but I think he's a very genuine person, and I really love just listening to him. I have podcasts that I save, and I re-listen to them once in a while because it just lifts me up. And he's always about taking care of self first and being your most and getting primed for the moment. So even just for this networking, getting myself into a mindset. I went for a nice morning walk this morning, just getting my body ready, my mind ready, and ultimate state to do my best. All I can ever ask of myself is get up and do your best at whatever it is that you've got to do that day. And nobody can fault you for that. You've done your best. And that's what I believe in. Perfect.
Can you think of an amusing story around networking?
You know what I miss really about the networking is that personal touch. I'm a kind of a touchy-feely kind of a person. So I meet people and I like to touch them on the back or even give them a little hug maybe. Even though I don't know them, if I genuinely feel like hugging people, I will. And if I feel like a pat on the back is appropriate, I will. Some of them cringe a little bit. I remember I was at the Palm Springs Association of Realtors, again, as an invitation from another BNI member who took me with him. And I struck a conversation with somebody sitting right next to me. He was a little shy, but I was feeling so excited that morning. I'm not sure why. And I over there just reached over there and patted him on the back after he said something. And then he kind of pulled back and looked at me like, that was strange. Why did you do that? I'm a touchy-feely kind of a person. And networking, I miss that part of it. I miss the being able to touch people and just have that, face-to-face conversation.
Yeah, me too. And it's okay because the desert is a touchy-feely kind of place under normal circumstances. So you just got to read your audience. So like, For me, since we have two associations, I know that there are distinct differences between the two cultures. So I'm very mindful of, Palm Springs is very passionate, very open, touchy-feely, the feel-good kind of thing. And the East Valley is a little bit more conservative. But there's a lot of people that go in both. So it's like, I still get my hug quotient over at both. But I agree with you. I really miss the hugs. And I have a couple friends that come over from time to time to drop something up, and I'm just, oh, heck with it. I miss hugs. I need to hug somebody, I know.
It's like you're reaching for the hug, but they're kind of pulling back. So you want to be respectful, of course, as well. But I do miss that. I miss being able to touch people and talk to them face to face.
Can you think of something you've learned that surprised you in networking?
Actually, I'm going to say I'm going to use you as an experience because I did visit a couple of BNI chapters before I ended up with Desert Alliance. And I sense a little territorialness between, especially other agents. Almost immediately, the guard went up. And when I came and I visited you, you were so open. You're like, let's go and have some coffee. Let's talk. And the fact that you were okay with that, you were confident in yourself to say, Elizabeth, we can at least have a friendly conversation and let's see how we can make this work. And ultimately, you made a way for me and you to be able to stand in the same network. And I'm so thankful to you for that. It speaks of your character, and I love it.
I appreciate it. That's actually one of my monologues, if you can believe it. You never know who you can create a strategic relationship with. So right now, you and I have this wonderful, affable colleague relationship. We haven't even leveraged into the business part of it, and I'm sure we will. And yes, that is my nature. I don't believe in that. Oh, I hate that. It's like we're all trying to do the same thing, which is have our happy clients. And we can all do that. There is no competition, in my opinion, because we all have our brand and we all have our way of doing business. And, so anyway, thank you. I appreciate that. And I'm glad that was an aha for you.
It was. It was refreshing, and I was so thankful. And I just love that you and I were not, like I said, we haven't merged the business aspect of it yet. We're still working on that relationship. Yeah. And I think that's the most important foundation that we can have.
Yeah. I will say, though, and I want my listeners to hear this as well, I have had my insecurities, and I have had those little moments. And I always recognize that that's me, because it's like you're so open. It's like if we've had some conversations after the meeting before where I was like, could you please tune that a little bit? And you're like, oh, yeah, I'm sorry, no big deal. And now it's like, I think I only did that once. And you've just been on spot ever since. I mean, you were even on a Facebook Live or something else, and you were just really just talking all about the trust property. And I just was like, yay, you're going to kill it. Just keep spreading it like you're just going to kill it in the desert. Your company is going to do very well out here. Can you think of anything that we haven't discussed yet that you would like to bring up or talk about?
You and I just share kind of some of our experience, especially in this COVID world, nuggets of success, just a daily practice that you use to help get you in that mindset just to succeed, as limited as we are with COVID and what we can and can't do, et cetera, and, the economy and all things going on around us and election, et cetera. What do you do, Stefan, to get you in that mindset? Or maybe we can both share something that gets us in that mindset and ready to go, regardless of what the day may bring.
God, I love you. You're turning the tables on me. Yay! It's ironic you would ask that exact question because actually it goes back to my monologue on self-care. Mm-hmm. I start my day with silence and prayer, and then I actually, my uplifting guy that I go to and listen to his podcast is Darren Hardy. So Darren Hardy does a Darren Daily, and he's a success mentor. And I love listening to him every day. So that, and sometimes I have a particular support group meeting every morning as well. So it's really important for me, even more so in COVID, to take care of me first and to make sure I'm in a good, healthy place, because otherwise nothing I do is going to matter. And then I have a higher power that I absolutely adore, and I keep reminding myself throughout the day to be grateful. Gratitude is really important, and then just remembering that there's something besides this going on in the universe.
And I think you hit that key point, is the gratitude, and that's something that Tony reminds us to always start. A person can't feel like they're a failure if they're grateful for what they already have and what they've already accomplished. So just remembering to start the day with that gratitude for everything that I already am, everything that I already have and they've already done. And that will keep leading me forward with an open mind, right? And then just getting ready to face the day. I start my morning with an exercise, as I believe getting that physical adrenaline flowing just kind of clears the channels and gets the body ready. And then gratitude and prayer. And then let's bring it on. Yep. Whatever it's going to do, I'm going to do my very best. And that's all that I can do, but I'm going to leave it all out there that morning, that day.
Well, Elizabeth, thank you so much for taking time out today to join me and be one of my featured interviewees on Networking Nuggets. I've had an absolute ball. I hope you've had as much fun as I have.
It was great. Thank you, Stefan. I always enjoy having these chats with you. You're wonderful. You've already lifted me up and given me some extra energy, so I'm ready to go.
Yay. Thank you very much, and we'll talk to you soon.
Thank you. Have a wonderful day.
If you're thinking about buying or selling in the Palm Springs region, please don't hesitate to give me a call, text, or email. All my information can be found below. And now I hope to see you on the next episode where I interview from Sydney, Australia, Marika Walker.